Hey folks, welcome back to Battle Report 5 of the Dagger DBA 3 tournament. This time I'm up against the Republican Romans, and this is definitely one I was not looking forward to, because the Republican Romans can really put a long line of troops out. Their troops can also fight just as well as my spearmen, and don't need mutual flank support to be as good. So once they start pushing through, I know I'm going to be at a disadvantage. So it'll be interesting to see if I can get my cavalry round and try and snipe off his general. Unfortunately, I don't have an overview shot, so it's just what you see here. So on this left flank here, you can see his two velites, silo at the front. It's a mix of blade, starting in Principes, and this triare, which is his spear up on the left-hand side, the other side of the field. And in the background, you can see his general cavalry there. And just to look on this flank, he has another cavalry as well. So I move up, as you see here, normal with my line. I have my a line of spearmen. I'm flanked with a cavalry and light horse on either flank. I'm basically looking to go to the left-hand side of the trees here, try and use open terrain, keep my spearmen fighting well. While I'm going to try to push the other flank in the hope to go around the woods and try and take out his general with my cav. If I can just keep drawing him this way into the open area, I'm going to whip round with my other light horse as well and just try and push everything to the other cav as quickly as I can before his infantry can line up and then engage me. The Romans are marching out and trying to form a battle line. Skips on a bit. Yes, I've moved my troops up further, and he redeploys there. He sees I'm going to start bringing my cavalry around the flank and puts his general and cavalry there to protect his flank and his camp. That's a gentle hill there, you can just see in the corner, just showing itself. Here are my brave spearmen trying to bait the Roman infantry to engage them while praying that the cavalry do their job on the flanks. I feel like I'm pretty much doing a Hannibal here, completely relying on the cavalry, or hoping that my infantry in the centre will hold long enough that the cavalry will come back and do its job. The Romans are still extending their line, bringing the last of the troops out. As you can see there, it's not possible for me to get around with my cav at all, so I have to come around this other side of the woods here, in the vain hope to actually break through and in behind them. As you see here, in my time, I have actually managed to push my cavalry around. I can now engage with my two light horse and my cavalry against his general and cavalry. I think this is pretty good. The only thing I did forget, which is pretty vital, was the hill advantage. It wasn't as big an advantage as I was hoping. I was hoping to also bring my general around and just let my guys sit there and wait for the Roman advance in the hope to really force that edge. And here's my cavalry flank, just being joined from the light horse from my left flank, which have spent its time darting behind my lines. And here's just a shot of my left flank with my one cavalry left. I was quite happy for them to hold my flank. I can always make them draw back just that little bit further, making it harder for my opponent to try and flank them. In the meantime, their blade is only a 3 against cavalry, so I should be able to help this flank hold long enough for my other cavalry to do the job. My opponent's velites, siloi, start moving into the terrain, ready to watch my flank as I start coming in to attack his general on that. As you see here, I'm just moving my cavalry into position to take them on. I'm still debating on whether to bring my general around. Problem is, as soon as I bring my general around, they'll be the other side of the woods, and a lot of my troops will be a lot harder to command. But in the minute, my decision will be made, and I think I'll definitely need his help on this flank, just to swarm it. Also, my silo is columning up so I can move through the woods unhindered. I'm hoping I can take out his one silo with my 2. So yeah, he comes and pushes the point and brings his silo up as well. And unfortunately, I actually lose one of my cavalry to this, so I'm now a horseman down, and I'm the one that's being surrounded on the flank. So I'll definitely be needing my general to move up here. So I managed to actually engage this the cavalry in the top in the flank. This meant he he actually lost the combat as well, so it was pushed back into the general, so that's a space to recoil. Because obviously, since the base turned around, he would have had 10 mil to recoil into. 10 mil to recoil into, so be safe. All I need to do is get another charge on him. Now my general's here to also help out. But the other thing I'd say, I forgot about the hill bonus, and that extra +1 is making it a lot harder for me to actually defeat these guys than I thought it would be. And as you can see, the most of the battle is happening with the cavalry charges on the flank, as the lines are just holding off against each other, kind of waiting to see who wins on that flank, to see where the best engagement is going to end up on the main battlefield. So my my opponent moves his silo up to threat zone my general, so my general is now unfortunately unable to charge the one in the open that I wanted to, and he's then doubled up on my light horse on the flank, still gaining. He's still up on the hill compared to me, so he's really got an advantage here, and my light horse are in a lot of trouble. So I have to clear my opponent's threat zone with my cavalry. I put them into the flank of his cavalry, bringing him down to a 2, but he's got the hill, so he's back up to a 3. And to my poor light horse, which is a 1, it's managed to hold on there. And since I was threat zoned with my general, I just chucked him in. I know it'll be a disadvantage against his siloi, so I'll be a 1. I'll be a 3 up to a 4 because he's my general. Fighting bad going down to a 2. But I've charged him in the flank there, and he'll be a 1. So as long I have now 1 up, and I can quick kill him. So I'm pretty happy there. So yeah, I do manage to quick kill him. So at the moment, we've both lost some either light horse and light foot. And unfortunately, my opponent actually beat me back with the charge as well. So not feeling too great about that. I was hoping then just to get rid of that damn cavalry. With that cavalry gone, I definitely had the advantage on this flank and should be able to mop it up relatively quickly. As it was, I've been driven back. Things are looking as you see here. The main battle lines haven't hit yet. I'm still quite happy with that because that's all advantage my opponent, I believe. With that blade against my spear, that's definitely his advantage. So my opponent does the same as what I normally do to them and surrounds my light horse with his cavalry and finishes him off. And then with my siloi, I put my pips into shifting them up to try and finish off his other siloi here, just giving my general a bit of freedom to manoeuvre. And thankfully they do their job well and slay another siloi. So at the moment we are 2 for 2. Yeah, and this is just the overview of the battle. The trees move around, it's only because we've taken them off the base there just so we can move our troops around. That is all. So it's still a wood there in the middle of the road there where my silo is. And that's how things are looking. As I say, 2 light horse and 2 light foot lost either side. So my opponent moves into a position there. As you can see, his line has wheeled, pretty much filling up the entire field there with his long line. So he's overlapping both flanks, so my main battle line is in a lot of trouble when he engages. With his cavalry, he turned them around and just clipped one of my siloi, which one of their edges were outside the terrain. So him engaging my flank, I then turned to face him. So he doesn't have to go in the terrain, doesn't have to worry about it. And he actually kills off my siloi. So that's another one to him. I think this turn my opponent might have only had like 1 pip or something. Basically, he didn't want me in the flank too much there, so he pulled his cavalry back. I think that was his idea there, because I don't know what else that would have been. Yeah, I must have caught a mid-move, so basically he was just moving back, so I couldn't get everything involved that I wanted to and kept his general safe. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to charge in on both front and flank. So I have my general. So he is a cavalry 3 against cav. +1 for being general is a 4. My opponent's a 3, and I'm down to a 3 because of freaking overlap. My opponent is a 3 up to the 4 because he's on a hill, down to a 3 because of my overlap. So we're even Stevens, except I've now engaged him in the flank and have the quick kill. Yeah, and because I couldn't quick kill them, and that would have given me his, what? That would have given me 3. Yeah, I've still only been 3, so still struggling there. His main battle line had gone in, and as you see, he won the combats there. All but, well, actually, no, he did lose 2. but he did manage to kill off one of my spearmen, giving him the 4 that he needed. So that was a loss there, 4-2. I knew the Romans would be a challenge, but I'll be up against them again next, and hopefully I'll learn something. So I'll see you next time. That was us.